Hey, what is up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel, Just Simply Sports here with me. I am Kaja, and if you are new to my channel, I welcome you. Please hit the like and subscribe button. If you're not new, you're part of my YouTube sports family. You know how I feel about you. Shedeur Sanders, you guys. You know I have a soft spot in my heart for Shedeur Sanders, and it seems that I might be one of the few people who does because he is not making any friends, so to speak, when it comes to this NFL combine draft process. So you know that he dropped a few notches, on the list when he decided that he was not going to throw at the NFL combine. And then when it comes to interview part of the NFL combine, he is coming across as not so likable.
Brash and arrogant is what they said about Shedeur
Picking
Sanders.
in the top 7.
No doubt about it. That's the quarterback coach. 2-5. I'm going to let you sound off real quick. What do you make of it? Do you have an issue with it?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you could say this to your coaches, your ownership, your GM, right? But why are you saying it to the media, right? Another thing is like, I hate when people don't ever like put a name on it. Like, because who's really saying that?
Yeah.
And it reminds me of coaches that probably was a quarterback, probably didn't play, right? Probably was a backup, probably never went to the NFL, right? Probably wasn't secure on who he was. And guys that were superstars that had swagger to them, they call it arrogance. And he can't fit with them guys. Probably a guy that never had no attention, nobody really talked to him. You get in the NFL, now you got some type of voice. I hate them type of dudes, because I play with guys like that, right? And it's like you want to whisper behind somebody's back, and it makes you, I guess, feel weird because Shedeur is super confident.
Yeah.
Because Shedeur knows who he is. Shedeur knows what he brings to a team. He knows his talent, right? And that makes you uncomfortable.
Like Shady just said, I really wish that when people said certain things about someone's character, about them not being likable, marketable, brash, arrogant, in this specific case as it pertains to Shedeur, I would really love to see who that team is, who that GM, who that management is, coach that feels that way specifically, because I'm interested to know, is it because you may have a personal bias against young athletes who are talented, who are millionaires nowadays? Because as we all know, look, college landscape and how they bring and recruit talent is not the way it used to be. You have colleges now who have $40 million in NIL deals used to recruit, and bring in top caliber high school, draft, talent, high school draft. I'm not talking about you guys, not high school draft, high school talent, to their teams. But it's crazy, and when you have young men who are making millions already in college, their attitude is going to be a lot different than someone, let's say back in the day, who comes from, let's say, not making any money, or who hasn't had that level of stardom that a lot of the quarterbacks have nowadays. With the way social media is, with the way the internet is, all these different things, it's a whole new world. Really and truly, the floodgates have opened. So when you are sitting across from a young athlete who is already a star with millions of followers, already arguably a household name in terms of their popularity and how much money they're making, they're not going to have the same attitude as someone, let's say, who was in the fifth or sixth round that no one knows. I say that respectfully. Now, with Shedeur, I'm really wondering, did he really come across as brash and arrogant, or was it just his confidence that made whoever feel that way? Because you have to know, Deion Sanders is his father, right? I'm pretty sure he has been talking to him, Shiloh, and Travis about how to come across in interviews, how to answer questions. This is not new for him, you know what I mean? So for him to be Shedeur and to watch his dad go through things that he went through growing up, and to know what it's like to have the spotlight on him, if people, to know that who he is and who his father is comes with a certain level of scrutiny. For him to just go inside of an interview and just come across in a not so likable way, to me, is I find a little bit odd, because he's not a fool. And I'm wondering, when someone is considered arrogant, is it because they are confident in who they are? Is that what we find to be arrogant? Really and truly, I really wish that whoever it was would have given more context, because I'm curious to see what it was or how it was that he came across as arrogant and brash. Now, for me, and I'm not a GM or owner, obviously, but for me, if I'm looking for talent, right, I'm looking for the next face of my franchise. I'm looking for a star quarterback in this draft. And I'm the New York Giants. I am the Jets, Cleveland Browns. The list goes on. Raiders. and I'm looking for high level talent, and I'm looking for someone who can be the face of my franchise, the next face, who can carry our team into success to a Super Bowl, hopefully within the next few years. Obviously, sometimes that's highly unlikely given how everything works out. Health obviously a big thing, but if I'm looking for someone to be the next face, I want someone who is confident. When you're sitting across from me, if I'm doing the recruiting process and I'm asking questions, and you come across as a little bit unsure of yourself, like you're trying too hard to be like, not really being your authentic self, like you don't know if you don't show me that you're capable of leading the locker room of men, because this is not college. College, you have young men. Sometimes they might be a little bit older, but I say boys because they're not men. When you get to the NFL, there are men there with real life bills, families, mortgages, on top of all kinds of different things, and they know that they can be cut, waived. It's so much that goes into the NFL. It's not guaranteed unless you're someone who is obviously up there, and there's more that are not at the top of the pack than are at the bottom of it. So they're definitely trying to do their jobs to make sure that they keep their spot in their bills paid. So I'm looking at a young man who's coming from college, and I'm thinking about my locker room and about the men I have there, and how I want to pull it all together. If I'm sitting across from someone who seems like he's unsure of what he brings to the table and how he can lead our franchise and our organization into success, the next 5 years, for the next 10, 15 plus years, if or no, obviously it all works that way. And you don't seem too sure of yourself, you're not really sure how to answer questions. I don't know if you're the one to help our franchise grow, respectfully. Because if you're not sure of yourself, then how can I be confident within you and say, okay, you know what, this is the guy, for us. I listened to what Dan Quinn had to say when they were talking about Jaden Daniels, and about they knew from the first day that he walked into, the whole organization, walked into the building, that they knew that he was the guy for them. It was the way he carried himself. It was the way he spoke to everyone, how he treated everyone. And then when you saw how the players rallied around him this past season, how this team went from being like the complete laughing stock, with the past ownership, the old coach and everything. And you look at what Jaden Daniels did, with lesser talent. I hate to say it like that, but he didn't necessarily have the kind of roster that the Eagles had, that the Ravens had, although still talented, it's just some tears, a little bit different, right? And what he was able to do with that, how they rallied around him. If you listen to the Bobby Wagners, and how they spoke about him, and how they, spoke about him after, some of the games, with the reporters, they had such nice things to say about him. I always listen. I don't know about you guys. I always listen when reporters ask questions, and when you see players talk about players that they work, they are teammates with, and I listen to what they're saying and what they're not saying. More importantly, and when you hear people as a whole consistently, speak about someone like Jaden Daniels, who's the first one in the building at 5 a.m. Youngest one there, obviously, right? Coming fresh out of school, college. And he's there at 5 a.m. One of the first ones there, last one to leave. All the time and work that he puts in, how hard he works, his personality. It's no wonder to me that they had the success that they had their first season, his rookie season. I look forward to seeing what he does the next few seasons, because anything like this season, I feel like they got a Super Bowl coming really and truly just that fast. But I use him as an example because for me, when someone comes into my combine process and I'm asking questions, I want to gravitate towards someone. I want someone to know, look, I'm Shedeur Sanders, for example. I am this, that, and the third, and I know that I can do this, that, and the third. I want you to speak with a little bit of authority. I want you to have some bass in your voice. Sit up straight, you know what I mean? With your chest out. Talk with your chest out. Say it with your chest, you know what I mean? My Kevin Hart voice. I love Kevin Hart, you guys. But that's the kind of young man that I want to come into my franchise and lead us into, the next, decade or so of success. I don't want someone who's unsure, who's not ready for the spotlight and what it takes and what all entails by being the face of a franchise. That comes with a lot of questions, a lot of scrutiny, a lot of pressure. And can you handle that? Are you prepared to handle it? I think Shedeur is more than prepared to handle it, being with who his dad is, where he comes from, how things, all the comments and conversations that surrounded him, and the questions and the doubts and the naysayers, supporters, and doubters. They're like, all the ups and downs they had, right, in college. Jackson State, Colorado, first season, second season obviously was a lot better, 9-3. But I saw it to say that I believe in my heart that he will be able to carry a franchise. My concerns for Shedeur are that he holds the ball too long, and I really want him to put on a little bit more weight, a little bit more muscle, you guys. That's just my personal things. I'm not worried about him personality-wise. I feel like, he will come into his own. And looking at how he was with his O-line, I know some people felt some kind of way when he called them out. I don't mind the accountability. I feel like you have to be accountable. If you're not doing your job, I got to call you out, and vice versa. You call me out. So I'm not mad at that. Personality wise, I don't have any any gripes. I don't care. Flash your wrist, you know what I mean? Show your watch, whatever it is. Name one star player who isn't, I don't know, confident, who doesn't believe in themselves. And it starts with you. If you don't believe in yourself, if you don't carry yourself like I am that guy, and you should choose me, I am the best. Like all the quarterbacks feel like I'm the best quarterback to pick in this draft, and if you don't choose me, then sorry for you. Even Cam Ward spoke about that. If you pass on me, then that's on you. And you have to deal with me for the next however many years. And again, he was said that with the utmost confidence in who he is and what he brings to a franchise. And they all should feel the same exact way. How do you guys feel about this whole Shedeur Sanders thing? How do you feel that these young athletes should be coming into the interview process with these teams and getting prepared to get drafted in just a few short months? Let me know what you guys think. I look forward to reading your comments, and I will see you, of course, in the next video.